What is happening, sports fans? Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse this morning. It is your main man, Matt from the DFS 5-pack, rocking it solo. It is Thursday, September 16th. We got 5 MLB games during the day. Let's crush it. We got Showdown NFL tonight, a small MLB slate. We're not covering these small ones during the NFL season, so got me on here for this 5-gamer during the day. I hate when these games start like 4 hours apart, but it is what it is. It's what we got to deal with today. Everyone's got to deal with it. Some decent pitching options for such a small slate. I'm excited to talk this out with you guys. Let's get it. Screen share this, and we'll be on our way. Hopefully everyone had a good night last night. I had one lineup that crept up towards the end. It was a kind of half Padres, half Dodgers stack with Matt Duffy as a one-off. Even though I used Ranger Suarez, Duffy was awesome. So that certainly helped. And so was Profar, who was very low on leading off. As always, though, who cares about last night? We move on to tonight. As far as pitching options go, Gaussman back into really good form right now, coming off 2 nice starts. One in Colorado, obviously a tough place to pitch. Struck out 9 in each of his past 2. Had a cake matchup against the Cubs last time out, and now he faces a Padres team that finally got going last night. I think Gaussman's in play here for sure. I mean, especially considering the other options. It's not like I mentioned there's some good pitching options, but it's not like we're loaded from top to bottom. So as a spend-up option, I think that Gaussman makes sense. Wouldn't call him a must by any means, though. Like by any means. He's expensive, and there are a couple other good arms. Let me check weather real quick to make sure we're not dealing with anything. Doesn't look like it. Already moving on ahead. Tyler Mahle, however you want to say it. He's been solid recently. He's much better on the road in Pittsburgh against the weak Pirates lineup. We haven't seen this series on any main slates recently, so worth noting if nothing else. I like Mahle here. I think he's a solid look in all formats. Like I said, better on the road. Not the highest strikeout upside matchup in the world, but solid overall spot for him. I think he's high on the short list in all formats. And so is German Marquez, coming off a nice outing last time out against the Phillies in Philly. I mean, we've read this book before. Marquez is priced up now, so he's not the 6,800. I don't get what they do with Marquez's price point. And the matchup certainly isn't great. I mean, the Braves are really good, so I don't think Marquez is like a lock by any means today. Kind of reminds me of Gaussman. I think they're in play, and you can certainly make strong cases for them, but at the end of the day, I don't think either of them are musts by any means, and I wouldn't fault anyone for not using them. Next up, Alex Cobb, coming back off the IL. Hasn't pitched since late July. No thanks, not in this spot. Let me get to Ian Anderson in a really good spot at home against the Rockies. I mean, coming off a nice outing against the Marlins, finally got his strikeout stuff back. I mean, I'm a big Ian Anderson fan. I like his stuff. Wasn't great to start off last start, but, obviously put it together as the game went on, and I think he's high on the short list here. I mean, if I'm making one lineup right now, I think Mahle and Anderson is probably the way to go. No lock there, but I think that's probably the way to go. Ryan Weathers, no. Man, this Padres pitching staff is just depleted and not good. Ronaldo Lopez, he had been pitching really well and has come back down to earth. So I'm interested to see what kind of ownership Lopez gets. If he's really low owned, I like him in tournaments. If he's high owned, I like the Angels stack in tournaments. So ownership play for me there for sure. Pierce Johnson, no. Daniel Lynch, nah. I mean, not the spot I want to use Lynch. Paul Blackburn, no, he's not very good. And then Connor Overton. So we have some decent pitching options, but also some gas cans on the hill. So definitely going to be a slate, in my opinion, where offense wins. I mean, I think the pitchers, you just kind of want to avoid the landmines. You don't want your pitchers to kill you. Offense is going to win this slate, in my eyes. Speaking of some offenses, let's talk them. Rockies and Braves. We've got Marquez against Anderson. Listen, this game's more about pitching for me. You can always make the case for a lower-owned Brave stack. I mean, we've seen when Marquez is off, he's real off. And I imagine they're very low-owned. So that's the case for the Braves. Kind of wish I had gone with my gut and stacked the Cardinals last night. Not that my gut says the Braves today, but as always, you got to trust your intuition. And I think the Braves are in play here as a contrarian stack if you're not using Marquez. As far as the Rockies go, I mean, nah, I like Anderson. I get it. He's going to get love, but not for me. Reds and Pirates, we've got Overton against Malley. I'm not looking at the Pirates here. I like Malley in this spot. Again, another one where he's going to get a lot of love. If you're one of those that just plays hitters against chalky pitchers, do your thing. That's not really how I play, despite being about as contrarian as it gets. I mean, I pick my spots for sure. I don't just blindly stack against chalky pitchers. The Reds, though, yeah. They got some really cheap pieces. Max Schrock, I mean, 2K. Akiyama, 2K. Castellanos is decently expensive, but he should be. Stakis is cheap. India is cheap. Votto's affordable. I mean, yeah, this stack makes a lot of sense. I'm sure they get quite a bit of love. Angels and White Sox. Presumably Alex Cobb and Ronaldo Lopez. I already talked about it with Lopez. If he's getting love, give me some Angels. If he's not going to be owned at all, give me some Lopez. Definitely an ownership play. We know Lopez throughout his career has been very hit or miss. I don't think much has changed for him. I've been encouraged by what I've seen this year, but he has kind of fallen back down to earth a little bit over his past couple starts. So not afraid to use a couple Angels here on a small slate like this. As far as the White Sox go, I think they're definitely in play again. I mean, they're still just crazy cheap. Abreu, 4,200. Anderson's expensive, but it is what it is. Moncada, 3,700. Homered last night in good form. Robert and Jimenez, 4,100 average. Like, these guys are just way too cheap, and Alex Cobb is not a guy I'm afraid to pick on. All right, A's and Royals. Blackburn against Lynch. I mean, I'm definitely interested in the offenses in this game, not the pitching. Oakland stack Shirley in play. I wonder how much love they get. Matt Olson with a nice night last night, 23 DK points. He crushes lefties. He crushes bullpens. I get the A's here for sure. Would like them more if Matt Chapman's in there, but with him out, it makes them cheaper. So interested to see what their lineup looks like today. Might have Chris Davis and Pinder in there. Two guys that are notoriously good against left-handed pitching. We'll have to wait and see. And then the Royals, like Blackburn is not a guy that impresses me. I really want to see how ownership is projected today, because that's going to really tell me where I want to go. But as far as the Royals go, I mean, Witt is cheap. Mondesi's affordable with dual eligibility. Santana's dirt cheap. Perez is always the top hitting catcher. Homered again last night. Yeah, I mean, he's just homered in back-to-back games. He's just having a monster year. So I get the Royals for sure. I kind of hope that they're not going to get any love, because then I would like them more. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, last but not least, the Padres and the Giants. This is a game I feel like should not be on this slate. It just starts way after the other ones. I don't get it, but it is what it is. The Pierce Johnson, Ryan Weathers combination, although I'd kind of heard about Vince Velasquez coming in today. Let me check something. Yeah, maybe that's not today. I'm not sure. I know they just recently signed Velasquez, so worth noting. Gausman, I mentioned. I'm much more interested in the Gausman side than the Padres side, even if I don't get there. The Padres are good. If you want a one-off like Tatis Machado, small slate, even in a tough matchup, do your thing. Probably not where I want to prioritize today, however. I don't hate the Giants, though. They pinch hit a lot, so it's hard to really want to trust them in a full stack. But they're really affordable. They're starting a righty, bringing in a lefty. The Padres are. Messes it up a little bit. Probably a situation where I'm more interested in pieces. You got Chris Bryant, who's cheap now, double digits in 3 of 4. I mean, he looks good seeing the ball well, 4,800. Brandon Belt. I mean, check the game log. Dude is raking homers in 4 of 5. I'm not sure how much love he gets either. San Fran is definitely a team that sticks out, and one that, even more so than the Royals, if they're not getting any love, like, give me all the San Fran here. Ballpark plays much better for hitting during the day. Again, their lineup probably won't be out, which will give us an ownership bump. People won't want to wait for that lineup. And it's a pretty damn good spot against Pierce Johnson and Ryan Weathers. I don't love picking on bullpens and going to bullpen games, but Ryan Weathers has not been impressive over the past couple months. The Padres bullpen is just not great right now. Not that it's bad, and I wouldn't want to pick on them on a straight bullpen game, but with Weathers as the long reliever, I got no issues with it. All right, so just to wrap up real quick, again, I think one lineup, like in cash games, wherever, Molly Anderson. I think you definitely want some Reds. Probably want some A's, maybe some Royals. Yeah, I think the Reds, like pieces of the White Sox, A's, and Royals in cash games. And then in tournaments, basically every team can play on the slate. Even teams that are in like tougher spots, there's no pitcher on the slate. I'm like, oh, I can never pick on him. And it's a small MLB slate. So we know that crazy stuff happens. And I'm sure today will be another day where that occurs. So that is what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, covering this early slate because it's 5 games as opposed to that 3-game later one. If you want more content, more videos, go check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. I know Ryan got out a showdown video for tonight, so he's ready to crush that. We will have we'll have NFL main slate videos coming out fast and furious over the next couple of days. So if you want those, go check out the DFS 5-pack and sign up to be a member. We got great deals going on. We'd love to have you again. And yeah, appreciate it as always. Have a great Thursday. See you guys soon.